Also breaking this hour, the ceasefire is off. Israel bombs the Gaza Strip due to the ongoing refusal by Hamas to release hostages. The unverified numbers keep rising this hour, but more than 400 people have been killed and at least 660 injured. That's according to the Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry. The Trump administration was consulted prior to these attacks and supported the attacks. Israel Defense Forces say they are conducting extensive strikes against Hamas in Gaza. The goal, to secure all remaining hostages, and if not, quote, the gates of hell will open in Gaza. A UNICEF official described moments ago those attacks after the strikes began.
I could hear people yelling outside, screaming. I heard ambulances driving on and off. And the bombing has continued throughout the night, but with more space in between those explosions. We've seen reports of several dozen children killed.
With us now is senior fellow at the Hudson Institute, senior Middle East analyst, senior counterterrorism analyst Michael Prejean, and senior director of Israel Program and National Security Network at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Enia Krivine. Both of you, good morning. Thank you for joining us. First to you, Michael. I want to take you back 3 or 4 weeks ago when Hamas paraded the poor woman and her 2 kids across to UNICEF, or the aid workers there, parading. It was like a parade, music and joy from Hamas. All of a sudden, we find out that that wasn't the mom, that it was someone else. The sources we spoke with here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV said that changed Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, that from that point on, it had changed the way he looked at this ongoing war with Hamas. Did we see remnants of that last night with the bombing?
I think it not only changed Netanyahu, it also changed President Trump's opinion also, because he looked at that and then he met with actual hostages that were released. And we keep hearing the threat, all hell is going to break loose, whether it's from Trump or whether it's from Netanyahu. And what we saw over the last, 12 hours is that Netanyahu is ready to continue to target Hamas. We've seen Hamas try to reconstitute. They are rearming, refitting, regrouping, and promising to carry out another October 7th attack. And this is refreshing because this is the first time since October 7th that a U.S. administration has said go, has given Israel the green light to conduct operations against Hamas, and it coincides with what the U.S. was doing with the Houthis in Yemen. So this is good for Netanyahu, this is good for Israel, bad for Hamas, bad for Iran, and good for the United States.
Yeah, Enia, we heard the warnings from weeks from President Trump as well as Netanyahu. A lot of our reports are coming that Israelis were sort of surprised. Does this show you that the games are with Hamas, or that they're playing, that they're over, and the patience from Netanyahu has ended with this move last night?
100%. I mean, Trump said himself that if Hamas did not release the hostages, including, by the way, Americans, that there would be hell to pay. And just the threat from the White House was able to make movement in the negotiations and was able to bring 33 hostages home, including the hostages that you mentioned earlier, Shiri Bibas and her 2 small children. Unfortunately, she was among the hostages that were returned in caskets, which was very difficult for Israel and very difficult for many Americans to see too. So essentially what Trump had said is he put the threat on the table. He said there will be hell to pay if these hostages don't come home. Hamas failed to return hostages. They thumbed their nose at the special envoy for hostage making and the rest of the administration's ongoing efforts to try and negotiate some sort of deal. Hamas said no, and that is unfortunately the result of Hamas not being willing to play ball. The war resumed. Israel has the backing of the White House, and Trump and Netanyahu understand it. In order to successfully negotiate a deal, you have to have a carrot and a stick. So Trump came in with the carrots. He was trying to make a deal. He was trying to offer a solution to Hamas that would end hostilities and bring folks home. Hamas said no, and what you're seeing now is the stick.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Michael, let's respond to what she just said, that there are more strikes to come. I want to ask you how you believe they will unfold. And is Netanyahu at the point that says our largest ally, U.S., has our back? So I don't care what the moderators say in Qatar. I don't care what the rest of the world say. The leaders there, they can damn us to hell if they want. But I'm going to continue to do it the way I want to do it, the way I've wanted to do it the last since October 2023. But I didn't have the backing of the Biden administration. I do now with Trump. And there are going to be more strikes. How do you see that playing out?
Well, we've already seen the leaflet drops. We've already seen the warnings to the Palestinian people to move out from Rafah, Gaza City, Khan Yunis, other places. So this is the first time that Netanyahu is going to be able to operate in Gaza with the full backing of the United States. So I expect high-value targets, meaning Hamas leadership, to be targeted. And we have to take caution with these numbers of civilian casualties. It's Hamas that's putting out these numbers. And in each case, they've overinflated everything. If they say there's 400 dead, you can subtract the 0. There's probably 40. If they say there's 200 dead, 100 of them were Hamas fighters. So this would be the first time that Hamas is not going to be able to move the White House to worry about civilian casualties, because, Israel's strikes in Hamas, if we look at this war since October 7th, is one civilian casualty to one fighter. And that is the best ratio in modern history. It's the best ratio in all of warfare. So we have to be cautious with those numbers coming out of a terrorist organization.
Enia, 10 seconds or less, if you can. I am guessing that the ceasefire is no more, and we can no longer use the term negotiate with this terrorist group, Hamas. It just doesn't exist, correct?
I think you're right. Look, Israel wants its hostages back, and it's going to continue to try and bring them home. But I think the stark difference between this administration and its predecessor is that this administration wants to demonstrate that it is going to allow Israel to do what Israel feels is necessary in order to bring some sort of end state that Israelis can live with. And having no daylight between Jerusalem and the White House is just going to give a better opportunity to have better outcomes in the region.
All hell to pay. That was the quote. We might be seeing this play out in real time. Michael Prejean and Enia Krivine, thank you both so much for your time this morning on these latest developments.